You keep waiting for it to soften. Reality. Like maybe one day it'll explain itself, apologize, meet you halfway. It doesn't. That's the first thing you notice when things fall apart. Not the pain, the indifference. You hurt and the world keeps moving. You struggle and nothing slows down. You feel overwhelmed and reality doesn't even look up. That's when it hits. Not loudly, not dramatically, just a quiet understanding. Nothing is coming to make this easier. You were taught to expect fairness, understanding, some kind of emotional refund for trying your best. Cute idea. Reality never signed that contract. It doesn't care how hard you tried, doesn't care how much you meant well, doesn't care how unfair it feels. It responds to action, or it doesn't respond at all. That's usually where the anger starts. You feel it rising when effort doesn't equal outcome, when pain doesn't come with meaning attached, when suffering feels pointless. You ask questions that don't get answered. Why me? What did I do wrong? When does this end? Reality doesn't answer. It just waits. And that waiting is brutal. Because you realize something uncomfortable. Pain isn't a message. It's not guidance. It's not a sign you're special. It's just pressure. And pressure doesn't explain itself. You can scream into it, you can analyze it, you can romanticize it. It stays the same. That's where most people break. They try to escape the pain instead of understanding it. They numb it, distract from it, dress it up with meaning it never asked for. But the pain keeps returning, not because you're weak, because you're avoiding the lesson. Reality doesn't care about your feelings, not because it's cruel, because it's neutral. And neutrality is terrifying to people who expect comfort. You start noticing how often you argue with what is. You think things should have gone differently, that people should have acted better, that life should have rewarded effort. And every should just adds another layer of suffering. Pain plus resistance. That's the real damage. Pain alone is heavy, but pain you refuse to accept, that's unbearable. You felt that difference. Moments when something hurt, and moments when it hurt and you fought it. The second one always lasts longer, because fighting reality doesn't change it, it just exhausts you. This is where acceptance gets misunderstood. Not surrender, not weakness, not giving up. Acceptance is simply stopping the argument, stopping the internal negotiation, stopping the hope that things will suddenly feel fair. You don't smile about it, you don't feel better right away, you just stop pretending. And that's when pain changes shape. Not smaller, clearer. It becomes something you can move through instead of something you keep tripping over. Most people never get here. They spend their lives trying to feel good before they deal with what's real. Reality doesn't wait for feelings to catch up. It just keeps going. And eventually, you either accept the pain or keep paying extra for resisting it. You notice it after a while. Pain doesn't knock anymore. It just shows up, uninvited, unimpressed. It doesn't care if you're ready, doesn't wait for the right timing, doesn't slow down because you're already exhausted. That's when you stop calling it bad luck Because bad luck feels random. This doesn't. This feels consistent. You start recognizing the pattern. Every time you try to avoid it, it comes back heavier. You distract yourself, it waits. You numb yourself, it sharpens. You pretend you're fine, it digs deeper. Not out of cruelty, out of inevitability. Pain doesn't chase you, it outlasts you. That's why running never worked. You thought you could outthink it, outgrow it, outpace it. But pain isn't a problem to solve. It's a condition to pass through. And the longer you delay, the more it charges interest. You've felt that, haven't you? Old wounds resurfacing at the worst times. Emotions leaking when you thought they were handled. Tension showing up in the body without explanation. That's deferred pain. Pain you postponed instead of accepted. Reality keeps receipts. You also notice something else. The people who seem calm aren't pain-free. They're just not arguing with it anymore. They don't dramatize it. They don't narrate it. They don't make it their identity. They carry it and keep moving. That's the difference nobody spells out. Pain plus movement creates strength. Pain plus resistance creates suffering. Most people choose the second one because it feels justified. They stay stuck explaining why things hurt instead of asking what the pain demands. And pain does demand something. Not sympathy, not attention, adjustment. It forces change where comfort kept things stagnant. It pushes awareness where denial stayed cozy. It exposes what no longer works. That's why it keeps showing up in the same places, same habits, same relationships, same excuses. You don't escape pain by wishing it away. You escape it by listening without arguing. That's the hardest part. Listening without trying to reframe it into something inspirational, without turning it into a story about growth, without rushing to the lesson. Just sitting with it long enough to understand what it's breaking. Because pain always breaks something. An illusion, an attachment, a belief that stopped matching reality. And when that belief goes, you feel exposed. That exposure is what scares people, not the pain itself. That's why they numb, scroll, drink, chase noise, anything to avoid the moment where pain and truth sit in the same room. But you've already been there. You know what it feels like when excuses fall apart, when you realize things won't return to how they were, and something in you quietly says, this is it. Not the end, the line. On one side, resistance. On the other, acceptance. Resistance feels active, like you're fighting back. Acceptance feels passive, until you notice how much energy comes back. Because once you stop arguing with reality, you're no longer wasting strength on denial. You start using it, not to feel better, to move better. Pain doesn't need your approval. It just needs you to stop pretending it isn't there. Once you do that, it stops controlling the conversation. Something happens when you stop asking why. Not suddenly, not cleanly. The questions just wear out. You don't get answers. You get tired of needing them. And that's when pain changes. It stops feeling like punishment, stops feeling targeted, stops feeling like the world picked you out on purpose. It just feels present, like weather. That realization is colder than anger, because anger at least assumes meaning, assumes intention, assumes someone's responsible. This doesn't. Reality isn't angry with you. It's not testing you. It's not shaping you into anything noble. It's just applying pressure and seeing what remains. That's when pain loses its emotional edge, not because it hurts less, because you stop taking it personally. You stop narrating it. Stop wondering what it says about you. Stop attaching identity to it. Pain becomes information, heavy information, blunt information, but usable. You start noticing how clean this feels. No victim story, no revenge fantasy, no search for fairness, just adjustment. You sleep differently, move differently, choose differently. Not because you're healed, because you're done negotiating. You don't expect reality to meet you halfway anymore. You meet it where it is. That doesn't make you optimistic. It makes you accurate. And accuracy beats hope every time. People misunderstand this part. They think accepting pain means liking it or glorifying it. It doesn't. It means you stop wasting energy fighting what already happened. You let pain sit without commentary, without protest, without asking it to mean something. And strangely, it loosens its grip. Not immediately, not dramatically, but enough. Enough to move, enough to act. Enough to stop stalling your life waiting to feel ready. Because readiness was never coming. Reality doesn't wait for comfort. It responds to movement, even imperfect movement. You don't feel stronger here. You feel done. Done arguing. Done hoping pain will explain itself. Done pretending feelings are facts. And from that place, you don't need motivation. You just do what's required. That's where this ends. Not with relief, not with meaning, with acceptance. And acceptance doesn't feel good. It feels final.